Hey man, you watching Cold Red with the one and only big homie. My big homie, KD. It's up there and it's stuck there. Boom!
Ricardo or more. Drink like a boss.
Hey, what up? We in Cold Red with There's Smoke, There's Fire. I'm your host, The Playmaker. Today we have a very, very special guest in the building. Shymaria The Queen. What's up?
What's poppin'? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing well.
That's good.
First of all, I want to welcome you to the couch. And thank you for taking time out your busy schedule to come share your story with us.
Thank you for having me.
I got some in-depth questions for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Well, let's get right to it. Shymaria. Can I just call you Shy?
Of course.
Okay. I think that fits me better. I feel more comfortable
Yeah.
with that. What part of town are you from?
I'm from Milwaukee, born and raised. But what side? I guess it's kind of known as Thurston Woods.
Oh, the Westline area.
Yeah. No, not
No,
Westline.
Thurston Woods is...
Thurston Woods is right off of Titonia and Bobolink area.
Okay.
Like over there where the post office and the DMV is at.
Yeah.
I grew up over there. And now I live further north. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
I mean, yeah, for me, because, you know, just everything that goes on in the heart of the city. So I'm kind of out the way, you know.
Everything that goes on in the heartbeat of the city.
Yeah.
Interesting. We'll get back to that. So for the people that don't know you, tell me a little bit about you.
Well, I grew up, started off in church, you know, singing and just being very involved. And eventually I was looking for like an outlet to express my emotions. And I turned to writing poetry. But honestly, my poems, some of them, like as I kind of like got older, like they started sounding more like raps.
Okay.
And in 2015, I decided that, you know, I wanted to put a beat to, you know, what I had to say. And that's when I decided that, you know, I wanted to do music. And I haven't looked back since.
Oh, okay. Good for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're born and raised in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason why most people think you're from Chicago?
I think it's the weight that my presence carries. Just how I show up, and how I like just carry myself, you know.
So you saying Chicago people carry themselves different from Milwaukeeans?
Not necessarily, but just like the energy that I embody. My music is different, you know what I mean? Like my beat selection, I've been told, can be kind of like dark, but I feel like it's perceived as that because just like some of the energy that does exist here in Milwaukee.
Okay.
I've been told that, you know, some people feel like it can be a dark cloud over the city at times. But, you know, us just being like in the Midwest, it kind of does have like that grungy feel.
Yeah.
And I guess that is honestly my inspiration behind like how I pick my beats, you know? Because of course, like Milwaukee, our sound kind of like, it makes you want to dance. My beats, personally, like, they make me want to move, too. But just to a different rhythm, a different beat.
So if you had to judge your sound, what would it be?
Like how would I describe it?
Yeah.
It's like dark trap.
Something that needs to be in the heartbeat of the city, so to speak, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to say that.
I agree. So, there was a time, right, before you became who you are. What was life growing up for you as a young girl inside of the heartbeat of the city?
Carefree. It wasn't too much that I had really to worry about, just because, for one, for those who don't know, I am the only child. I don't have siblings. And just like how my parents were, like, with me, they were very protective. And I wouldn't say overprotective, but just very protective with reasonable intent. You know what I mean? Just kind of like keeping me out the way of things that would have stolen my innocence as a child. And I really do appreciate that. Like, you know, when you growing up, like, it's some things you don't really understand, but it helped me to be the woman that I am today, you know, because I wasn't exposed to certain things before I should have been. And some people would probably perceive me as being a late bloomer, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like, just late. Like, it was certain movies and sides of towns that I had no, like, idea about until, you know, as my mother would put it, I was old enough to, like, really, you know, take that in and be able to, like, dispose what I didn't need, you know what I mean? Discern, like, what was right for me and what wasn't, because just the morals and the values that she instilled in me.
Okay. So how old were you when you actually did jump off the porch?
Honestly, probably like when I was like, maybe in between the ages of 13 and 16, I could say, like, I started, like, you know, experiencing certain things. But that
Sneaking out, huh?
Yeah, like, well, not just sneaking out, but, like, that was, like, the era where my mother called me very rebellious.
I think we all
You know,
went through that stage, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But probably for real, like 18 when I graduated high school.
Well, I think that, you know, those ages of 13 to 16 are experimental
Yeah.
ages where we get out and kind of really see what's out there.
Yeah.
So when we get 18, we can kind of make the right decisions. Because my biggest fear is having one of my kids turn 18 without even experience a glimpse of the ghetto.
Mhm.
So I don't want to be too overprotective, but I want to be protective. So shout out to your mom and dad.
Yeah, thank you.
So at what age did you really, really find your love for music?
At what age? Honestly, I was cradle rocked. Like, I was cradle rocked by Tupac. My dad, like, is the reason that I'm so passionate about music. Like, that's kind of like how we started connecting. Like, he would play all sorts of music, like, when I was a kid. And I think when I was about, like, 4, like, that's when I started dancing. Like, trying to dance, at least. Okay. And I think, like, just being involved in church, like, a couple years after that, I think I got, like, baptized around, like, 6 or 7. And that's when I really, like, was like, you know, I like music because I wanted to be in the choir. I wanted to be in front of people. Like, I literally, like, I would read a verse, like, you know, and participate in devotion. I was on a step team. It was called Soldiers of Hope, where I was attending at the time. And I even praise dance. So, like, I did all type of stuff growing up. And, like, you know, that was my foundation.
So how difficult was it to transition?
I don't, like, from gospel
from church to rap.
Yeah,
it's
like,
got to be a process to where.
It wasn't hard, honestly, because when I was about, like, I think 11, like, in between the ages of 10 and 12, I think about, like, 10, 11, I was diagnosed with scoliosis. And I was very active as a child, and that, like, it slowed me down because I couldn't really perform the way that I needed to, because one side of my body, the right side to be exact, was growing faster than the left. And I love running. Like, I really wanted to run track. I played volleyball, I did basketball, but I think I really wanted to run more than anything, because even in ball, as a point guard, they would use me for my speed.
You can hoop?
Like, not like that. Like, because I was like, I really didn't like being touched, and I didn't like, I didn't take the time to like really learn how to use my body, but I was small too. I was very smaller than a lot of girls I was playing up against. And at the time, that was intimidating to me. Like, really didn't want to like get injured, and just hitting picks and stuff like that, messing up my knees, that made me be like, yeah, no, this not for me, for real. But like, if I could have ran track for real, like I would have ran, because I did, I was a sprinter.
Oh, okay.
So I did like, you know, the 100 meter, 200 meter dash, 4x1 and 4x2 relays. And I enjoyed that, but my body wouldn't allow me to really, you know, participate in that. Just that period, like, you know, just think how, like, me changing, and then like I needed an outlet too, because it was just like a lot of emotions that I was going through. Like, even like my parents, they got divorced when I was 13, and that was my golden birthday. So like, it wasn't really hard. It was just that I needed to get how I was feeling out, because I knew that it was detrimental to bottle it up.
Yeah. Okay. So do you remember the very first time you went in the studio and laid your first trap rap? And what was the response for the people who heard it?
Okay, so yes, I do remember the first time I got like in a professional studio would have been like in 2018 when I stepped foot in High Five. And the people that were like present, like, you know, they kind of were like blown away, because they just didn't expect me to be able to rap the way that I could. When everybody see me, like, before I open my mouth, and they be like, oh, like, you do music? And I tell them, yeah. They assume that I just, you know, I'm a singer. And I can sing, but that's not where my confidence lies.
Why do you think they assume that?
Because just my aesthetic.
Okay.
You know, like, I just look like soft and feminine.
Okay.
I don't look like I could rap as hard as I actually can. You know what I mean?
Okay. Somewhere along the line, right, they added Queen to your name. How did that happen?
Okay, so in 2015, I think, yeah, like around March of 2015, I had got Queen and Royal tattooed on me, on my wrist. Okay. So I got Royal here, and then I got Queen right here. So I got that tatted. And that's when I kind of like called myself, you know, trying to brand myself. Like, it's like I had a certain intent, but it wasn't all the way like drawn out. Mm-hmm. And then I believe in 2019, I was working at T-Mobile, and I met this guy. Of course, he was my coworker, but we were just talking in between customers, and like, I was telling him, like, you know, I did music and things like that, and I kind of let him hear one of my tracks. Which one at the time I don't remember, but he was like, he told me that I should call myself Shymaria The Queen, because just how I carry myself with like queen-like energy, like just with also understanding that life is like chess, you know?
So Shymaria The Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Your last EP, Off Limits. Let's talk about that.
What you want to know?
I mean, you just sound so confident and untouchable on it. What brought that about?
Life. The things that I experienced in the last 5 years. I just was living, and I had learned a lot about myself. And I just kind of like, how can I say that? Put it all in that body of work. because it's really like not about being unreachable. Like you can't reach me, you don't have any access. It's just more so about like boundaries, the importance of them. At one point in my life, before putting out this EP, that was something that I lacked. But that's because I thought that everybody, in a sense, thought the way that I did, down to like, you know, just love the way that I did. Because I thought that, okay, you know, if I show up a certain way, you'll match my energy. But everybody not built like that. And I bumped my head, you know, in a lot of different areas, from relationships to financial. And I had to rebuild myself from the ground up, brick by brick.
Okay. You know, we in an industry that thrives off approval, right? And I noticed that you speak a lot about self-love and not needing the validation. What inside of you brings that about?
Peace with myself, knowing myself, understanding that allowing the crowd to have control over me diminishes that. But the power lies in me being able to control the crowd. And what they say and what they think and how they feel means nothing, because what means the most is how I feel and what I think about myself. And I know I'm her. Okay. I don't need nobody to tell me that.
Shout out to you. So, we've noticed over the years that you did so many different things. There's so many moving parts to you.
Yeah.
Music, modeling, entrepreneurship. Let's talk about the modeling, though.
What you want to know?
I mean, I seen some pictures online that was like, I mean, that's all I can say.
What that mean?
But I like them.
Yeah.
So, what got you into modeling?
I like fashion. I come from that being a way to like express myself, right? And my mom, like her side of the family, like they just always loved to dress growing up. And like my mom, she still can't dress, and she low-key still be like, you know, finding statement pieces for me. Like she like, I got this for you, you know, ain't nobody gonna have this on. And I'm just like, thanks, Mom. But like I love that because I like taking pictures. Like, you know, I'm photogenic, and I've always been told like I kind of like, you know, am a natural. And I have had training when it comes to like modeling, but you know, it didn't take much.
Well, you definitely are photogenic, but you very rarely smile.
Oh, that's why you
On your
made that
photos.
sound earlier, huh?
No, I mean, I was talking about the wardrobe at that point, but I noticed that you have a certain look when you model, and it seems to be always serious.
Oh, my face expression?
Yeah.
It's called RBF.
What is that?
Resting bitch face.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I be giving a face, I guess, more often than not, like just because, like I know there's a lot of power in my eyes, and I don't feel like I should smile in every picture because, you know, you can see the joy in my eyes most times.
Well, I done seen you smile more during this interview than I ever seen on any picture. So,
Oh
shout out to KB for bringing it out, man. I got to give it to. Sometimes you got to pat yourself on the back, right?
Yeah.
If you could talk to your 17-year-old self, what would you tell her?
I would tell her I'm trying to find a word. I would tell her to stand 10 toes down on what she wants, you know, speak up and stand up for herself, and don't be afraid, you know, to say no, and like not stand down or stand back about, you know, what you want. Because I feel like if I could have done that, you know, maybe I would be further, just because, like, you know, how you always knew what you wanted to do or what you would be doing, but like you were guided elsewhere. And it's like there's vision there that, you know, someone has for you, and it makes sense, but you're like, man, I probably could have went a different route and got exactly where I'm at sooner. You know what I mean? So that's what I would tell her.
Well, with that being said, do you have any regrets about your journey?
Um,
And is there things that you would have done differently?
I wouldn't say that I have regrets, but I just wish that I could have had a little bit more say so over what I did with my life after I graduated high school.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily want to go to school right away, but my mom thought it, you know, it would be good for me too. And I can understand that because, you know, she didn't go to school fresh out of high school. My dad didn't go to college. But so, you know, you're trying to create a different path for me. And I understand that. But even with the good intent, I feel like if I would have, you know, took more time to actually write the plan and then work it, like things would have went better. I
Okay.
wouldn't have had so much like up and down, you know, and I know a journey can be like that, but I would have preferred to go, you know what I mean? Just kind of like skyrocket. And she tried to set me up like that, of course, but you know, if you are not on the same page, like then like the journey gets a little bit more rocky.
So what's next for the Queen?
Well, I got a lot of producers that want to do EPs with me. So that's my next move. I've been writing. I wrote like a handful of songs so far this year. So I'm looking to put out a couple more projects. I do got some things under wraps with people with from here, from in Milwaukee, that I'm looking to, you know, finish recording and then start shooting content for. But really just, you know, more content, like more music, more content. Hopefully, you know, get some trips in, like travel a little bit, and not just like, you know, personally, but hopefully we can get some shows.
Music related,
you know?
huh? Okay, I got you.
So,
So Shymaria,
yes.
the Queen, again, I want to thank you for taking time out your busy schedule to come share your story with us.
Thank you.
The platform, Code Red, where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm your host, the Playmaker, and that's the Queen. And we out.